Welcome back, people, from that music break. That was Kabio Osi by Mars. Kabio Osi Baba means, "O King, my father, there is not like you." You know, these songs just put you in it just gives you that it just takes me back to what I said when we first started the show. And welcome people. If this is your first time joining the show, welcome. This is Life Matters with Aanu Adedire, and you're having an amazing time. Welcome. Yes, thank God we've seen the last day in February. Yes, God has been so good to us. Like, Jesus has been so good to us. He has kept us alive till today. Today we'll be talking about a very interesting topic. Yes, a very interesting topic, and the topic will be weddings. Yes, we had the first part one last week, and for those that joined in last week, we learned a lot. And when I say we learned a lot from talking about weddings. And we had our event planner, Mida's event view, where she schooled us extensively on how wedding planning goes, and planning an event, planning a wedding goes comes about. She talked about having a guest list. She said it is very important. She said making sure that you are stress-free, like your mind is awake. So our guest, Governor D, we're live on Facebook, so you could just join us and send a request on Facebook right now. So we were talking about weddings, and we talked about a lot last week. We talked about the events and the drama. The events and the drama comes together to having that. Most of the time, people are caught up with that one-day event and caught up with all the rush. I think so I'd had one drama that happened at a wedding where the bride and the groom already had their music for their first dance, and the father and the uncle of the bride said, "No, the father wants to hear something different." I'm like, really? It's our wedding, right? But yeah, all those kind of things happen when it comes to weddings. And let me tell you, when it comes to African weddings, let me add, when it comes to Nigerian weddings, oh my, when it comes to Nigerian weddings, I don't know why I can't send a request to you, our guests, but we're trying to work something out around that. You can send us a request. So we're having our guest, my friend, my sister. Her name is Damaris Akanji. She's a singer like me, and also an HR person, a professional. So she's coming live to us from the UK, and we'll be talking today about the pressures. Now, I kind of look at things sometimes that sometimes it's the pressure in putting up these weddings, and not necessarily that people really want big weddings or whatnot, but the pressure and everything that people put together when it comes to having their wedding in the real sense of it, right? When it comes to putting things together, having friends, having family around, this person will come, all that drama. We talked about it last week, and it was amazing that I was schooled and I learned a lot from what our guests. Hi everybody. Hi, how you doing? So today we're talking about the pressures. Now, for a guy, I think the pressure in Africa is not that hyped. To be very sincere, when it comes to weddings, the pressure is not that when it comes to weddings. Most of the time, it's always that. Please, Damaris, you can send me a request. I don't know why I can't send you from here, but please send me a request so that I can add you on the show. So, the funny thing is this: it has happened several times where most guys at 25, 30 still feel they're young. You know, that the society will tell you a guy at 30 is just sort of starting life, and some people will tell you that once you're 21 as a girl, what's going on, let's start talking about weddings, let's talk about marriage. But you know, today I was talking to a very close friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, and we're talking about the old wedding brouhaha, and I told him one thing. I said, the good thing, I think if people that follow me on Instagram will see on my Insta story where I wrote that a lot of times we are more concerned in what's happening on that one day, right? What's going on that one day. It's not like So for me, it boils down to, okay, so what exactly are we even doing? Are we actually preparing for marriage, or we're not, right? Are we trying to sure of having this perfect day, or having a perfect lifetime? Now, we know that life is not even close to perfect. To be very, very sincere, life is not even like, you can't. I wish everything was perfect in this life. Like, I wish everything was like perfect, spot on. Where once you finish primary school, you go to secondary school, you go to university, you start your masters, you do your PhD, everything goes smoothly. But there's one thing that I always put in perspective, is life always happens. So most times people rush and run around this whole thing of, oh, we're gonna be having this person, or you're gonna be having that person, oh, that you're already 23, what are you doing with your life? I don't put that 23 that are kind of done with their welcome people that are joining us, that are kind of done with some even PhD. I think the youngest PhD holder in the world is, I think, about 21 or 22. So some people have that thing working for them, but it's not in every area of your life that everything seems perfect. And that's the thing. So because your auntie or your mom or your cousin got married at 18, doesn't mean you have to, though. There's some lessons and there's some things God has to make you go through for you to actually have that time, or have that moment where you say, you know what, hi myself, I am ready for marriage, or I'm ready for. You have to make that decision to say, you know what, I am ready. If you're not ready, don't start saying, the society, what people say, I'm 25. So I always tell people this. I say, a single, accomplished, purpose-filled lady is better than a miserable married woman. Yes. So marriage is just this close. Something this close to, how will I call it? This close to, I can't send a request with my iPad. I can only send my phone. So marriage is like, some people start up marriage with, how will I put it? With fulfilling purpose, working towards their direction, right? But for some, God actually wants you to fulfill purpose, and marriage will just be part of the ladder climbing on fulfilling your purpose, or in fulfilling your purpose. So sometimes you are just all about, the wedding, let me this, let me that, when really the real thing, the in thing, what we are supposed to be prepared for, which is the marriage, we are not. Now let's break it down. Is there this societal pressure that at a particular age, a lady, yes, perfect, it has to be married? Is there that pressure for you? You're already 23, 21st birthday, your uncles and aunties. I welcome, yes, my guest is on. Welcome.
I'm so sorry for my late movement. I was running. You don't understand. I was racing. I almost fell just to be here. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. How are you doing? So welcome, people. I am live with my guest, Damaris Akanji. So Damaris, I met, let me tell you the true story. We met last year, there, or like live vibes on Light and Data. And funny thing was, we just had that, when I always do this boy meets girl theory when it comes to relationships. For me and her, it was like sister meets sister, and we just go together, and that was it. So it has been an amazing time knowing her. And today I didn't know any other guest. To be very sincere, I didn't have anybody in my head. I said, you know what, who else can I discuss weddings with than my own sister? Like, you know what, let's talk about this thing. So first on, welcome to Life Matters with Aanu.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
First off is this: do you think there's actually a certain pressure on guys than we ladies? Because a guy at 30, if he's not married, they see, he's working, he's trying to save money to take care of his family. But when it's the lady that's 30 and is like on probably managerial level at a company, they see her as the sad sister that cannot get a husband?
I think there's pressure on everybody, but there's this general belief that the pressure is more on the man than the woman. But there's pressure on everybody. Like everybody got pressure. Trust me. Everybody got pressure. And I think it depends because there are times whereby the woman actually takes the financial responsibility. And so you can't conclude or judge. Sometimes they're paying, they're both contributing equally to the wedding. So you can't say one person is providing. However, there is a general belief that truly the guy actually he provides. Is it he provides more? Yeah. So there's that idea, but it's not always 100%. Hi, Uncle Ashafika. Hi, Toby.
Okay, so now putting that on the way. So you think that people are not open-minded to having that ladies can actually be in their late 20s, early 30s, not married, for still fulfilling purpose, and still have a guy that will still meet them and say, you know what, I love who you are, I love what you have become, I love the woman you become, because the society kind of makes you feel that once you cross that 25 margin, sister, before you get a husband, it's going to be like 35 and all that.
So what's the question?
So do you think that there's this tag to purpose fulfilling when it comes to age with women than men?
Man, I think this thing is down to your family and your background, There's a general notion that women get it a lot, but I think it's because people are more vocal about women. There are men that get it too. I really can't see until there's like a statistics proving it. I really can't say one person over the other. Men get it as well. Do you know how many guys dread Christmas or dread going for family meetings or dread do you know what I mean? Because they don't want to have that sit down with their mom or their dad, hounding them about, when are you gonna get married? When are we gonna have? I think for the guys it's when are we gonna have children, and for the ladies it's when are you gonna get married? Okay. Do you get what I mean? So that's why I say that.
Let's go to the world of weddings. And I'm happy that you were on the show last week when you were hearing those prices for weddings. Do you think there's extra pressure with social media right now for cost of weddings and the wedding industry in general?
Of course. In fact, it was one of the things that I had written down because I had sort of wrote a list on wedding pressures on my computer, and I was like, oh, I could talk about this. And social media actually happens to be one. I think there's pressure. There's pressure to have a glam wedding. If you notice, nowadays, there's, the paparazzi of the entrance, the wedding reception entrance. 7, 8 years ago, there's nothing like that. Just dance in with your family.
Just dance in. Some didn't even have bridal train, like 5, 6, 7 people. Like I remember one of my aunties living in South Africa right now. She just had best man, best lady, ring bearer, and little bride, and that was it.
Yeah, but now it's like, you see people coming in with their cars, so there's a lot of effigy, people coming in with the cars, people having pop, people coming in with the singer singing. All those things never used to matter, but now they do. So there's that social media, what am I going to do that's going to be different from that other wedding that was really, really hyped? How is mine going to be better? What dress am I going to wear that is going to get wags talking, rather than what dress actually suits me? What dress do I want to wear? Or what kind of bridesmaids do I want to have? I would prefer to go and hire a bridal train than have my friend because she's ugly in coat. People be saying stuff like, I want people of certain skin complexion, on my wedding day. I should have 6. No, I should have 14 bridal train. No, I should have 24.
I've heard of 40. I'm like,
I've heard of 65.
There's some people's
in Lagos
wedding.
And you know
Like,
what they were saying? They said that they sang 3 hymns and they had to switch to praise and worship because the entire bridal train had not gotten in yet.
wow.
True story.
Wow.
In Lagos
Wow.
City. This was a long time ago.
Wow.
So there's that pressure, even like and that pressure even amounts to vendors as well. Vendors put pressure on the bride and the groom and the bride put vendors under pressure in the sense that vendors want, you have to look nice. If you're not, wearing Versace, or if you're not looking the same way, or if you're not from a certain class, I'm not putting your picture up on my social media. And then there's the part of, oh, you have to come correct, you have to come straight because I have to put this on social media. I have to make my friends know that I didn't. And so there's this general concept that, I must do a wedding that is glam, that is very few people now want to cut their coat according to their size. So there's the social media
According to
frenzy,
this side.
and it's pressure from other people. Other people are putting pressure on other people that are putting pressure on other people that are putting pressure on other people. And if you go and see them real life, they're just trying to
Regular
make it.
folks. Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to make it. They are so regular. I remember I met a particular musician, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, and at that time he was really, really hyped. Now he's really, really hyped, but like at that time he was also really hyped. But when I saw him, he was just like he was a regular guy waiting on the line like everybody else. There was nothing like phantom or glorious about him that made him look like
Oh
wow.
my
There was
God, you are
nothing.
this.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So social media has a lot of hype. And I think another thing as well with social media is that people, I don't know how to say this without
No,
sounding
no, just
funny.
hit it. Hit it.
People want to
Hit
show
me.
their exes what they are missing
See
or
what
what they
you're
miss.
missing, bro.
And I can't blame you, do you get? Especially when God actually finally answers your prayer ×2 and gives you someone like super amazing. There's this idea of I
True.
want to show off that, you know what, I did better than you. I am in a good place right now. That could be a good thing, but that could be a bad thing. It all depends on how you look at it. So that's what I'll say for social media.
So let's even now, so we know that social media, the influence, and that's one of the topics that we're going to talk about later in the year. We're talking about the edge social media has put people on, even to etiquette. But now
Yes.
you just talked about people, and that's where I want to come in. You want, okay, personally I want like a small wedding, like not so much my mom and dad, his mom, his dad, like that kind of who kind of backdoor, like this kind of wedding.
Are
But
you sure?
your parents kind of tell you, sorry, it's our wedding. we are the ones that and I remember that when we had our last get 2 weeks ago, Auntie Daisy, she said one thing. She said one of the things she put down as a set rule for when she was in a wedding prep was, she told her parents, if you want a big wedding, no problem, but I'm not paying for it. But now I'm hearing this theory, and I've heard from a lot of ladies. If
Yeah.
you're between the age of 22 and 27, they want to sponsor everything about your wedding. Once you cross from
Babe, hurry
28
up.
to
2 more years
35,
to go,
you're
babe.
paying yourself.
Really?
That's what I've been hearing now. And I'm like, how would that even happen? Like how like I can't even explain it. So are you telling me now that my wedding is being dictated by my age? Do you understand? So now there's a pressure on, if you want me to actually do your wedding, you gotta get married early. If you don't want me to do your wedding, then do whatever you like. Then you pay for
I
your wedding.
think that's just a strategy. I've never heard this before, but if this
So
is true, it's just a strategy for people to get
babe,
married early. It's a strategy because the truth about it is, what if God
what's the
has said
pressure?
your husband is
Why
coming
are
at
we
28? So what happens
okay?
then?
What did you say? Sorry.
So what if your husband is meant to come at 28? What then
God
happens?
bless.
What I
God
was
bless
gonna
you.
say about the parents is, see, yeah, even though it's not time for my wedding yet or anything, guys, I'm still very single. Glory to God. find me a date. And when I say I'm single, what I mean is I'm not married. That's what I mean. Okay. So I was saying, with Nigerian families, I don't know about other African cultures, but I can only talk about where I'm from. My people,
My friend from Ghana said the same thing too, though.
Really? Okay, let's just say African countries in general, your wedding is our wedding. Look at my hand. Our wedding. Not your wedding, not her wedding, our wedding. I'm not even kidding. Let me just use myself as an example. So as you guys may or may not already know, my family is a nation. I've always said that, and it remains the same. My family is a nation because I am still getting to know family members. When my parents came from my grad in January, I found out I had an uncle in Scotland. I had no idea. My uncle has been here 2 years. I had no idea. My mom is like, oh, that's your uncle. That's my brothers, cousins, uncles from the other side of my mother's side. Oh my God, my God.
You're like,
and I'm just like, okay. And I'm still meeting aunties too, you know. I'm still the uncle one I've given up. At least the aunties I'm still meeting up. And what I was talking to my mom about was I said to my mom, I said, this is my definition of introduction. My parents and my siblings. His parents and his siblings. And my mom is giving me the eyeball, like,
sister, you're just deceiving yourself.
That's your wedding. That's not our wedding. You know, and then she was like, you know, my dad, he'll have to call all his sisters and his brother. You know that if he calls all his sisters and his brothers, that automatically means their children are coming, and their children have spouses, which will mean their children and some of their spouses will be coming. And don't forget that those children have children, so that would mean that their children, their spouses, and their grandchildren will be coming.
But sis, and that is that you've not actually started the wedding planning in itself.
What is wedding planning? Have you even? I'm talking about introduction. You want to meet your family, like you want to meet the other family.
My God.
You haven't even decided whether this is gonna be it. It's just an introduction. This is what I believe. I believe extended family members can come for traditional wedding. That's when they need it, in my opinion. This whole what if the introduction doesn't go well? What if everybody agrees and then one person in the family doesn't agree and scatters the entire thing? So because of one person, the introduction won't go on again. People don't deep these things. They don't think about it. They just think, of course, like, you know, the whole family is going to be happy with you. Not really. Not necessarily. Some people just want to come and eat rice. Some people are tired of cooking and just want to use your introduction to eat. Okay, I'm going to calm down. Breathe. Right.
So now, I don't even want to, because introduction, everything's part of the wedding, but the pressure now is, after we've done the introduction, we've chosen the dates, we're making the decision that, okay, mommy, the introduction was big, we had almost everybody in the family. The traditional wedding was big, we've had everybody in the family. I just want this church wedding for me. So I want just 50
guests. It can never happen for me. It can happen for anybody else, but it can't happen. Do you know what I was telling my mom? I was like, if we're not careful, my introduction is going to be inside the church. Because my mom, she's the pastor's wife, so they'll invite her for people's weddings and introduction. So everybody now feels entitled. She went for my daughter's introduction as a supporters club. And what in the world is supporters club? Oh my God. As a supporters club, I need to come to my. So when I told my mom that, I was like, okay, mom, even if I have an introduction that is big, a traditional that is big, can I have a destination wedding? We don't do destination weddings in our family.
Sister, the destination will be from you and your husband's reception to the honeymoon.
You get what I mean? Honestly speaking,
and do you know that
guys,
what you just said is another set of pressure when you're preparing for your wedding. My mom used to go for everybody's wedding, so everybody has to come for my wedding. Do you know that?
See, somebody said Daramasi. That's not how to spell my name, sir. Relax, life
Oh,
is short. How many people come to your wedding is petty matters. Trust me, it's not petty. Trust
it's
me, it's not petty. It might be petty for you, sir, but it's not petty for me because I'm the kind of person that I'm very detailed. I'm very like my wedding is one of those weddings where I wouldn't call myself a bridezilla, but I need to know what is going on everywhere, even if I'm not there. I need to know that okay, the drinks
so
they
so
are
so
in the fridge. Like you
so
see, it's in the
that was
fridge.
one thing that she said. It's IBK. I don't know why you're saying sir to him. I don't.
Oh,
The funny
IBK.
thing is just yeah.
Listen,
So this is the thing. It's very
sorry guys,
important
IBK
that
is our friend. He's not serious. That's why. Go on.
it's very important that we all know that when it comes to weddings, and one of the things the wedding planner said for those that didn't
Sorry,
went
babe. Can I
online
just pause this?
last
See,
week
IBK, you
was
cannot say that
what
for
was
someone
that
that has.
if you have a wedding, you have to make sure, you always have to make sure that you are not everywhere. And that was and that was the
Of
reason why I brought in
course.
an event planner first, because
Yeah.
she gave us the reach around. You can't be everywhere. You can't know everything. You can't understand anything. Give that faith, but have a backup plan. I always tell people. So when it comes to wedding, the old spending, the old everything, the unnecessary pressure we put ourselves on like we put on ourselves that, oh, so if 500, 1,000 people are coming for my wedding, I have to be everywhere. That pressure should be gone. But the pressure we're even talking about is the old craziness or fanciness of having this multi-million. I have heard of weddings that are up to 200 million naira
See, that's why
for
when
a
she was
one
speaking
day
last
event.
week, she said something. She said that you and your spouse may not even have up to 200 guests. You may not even have up to
True,
100. That's very
true,
true. But this is the
true.
point where your family comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, let me give my own family as an example. My dad is a pastor and is a pastor of a very big church. Bless God for that. And when I say a very big church, I mean a very big church. Now, let's say that they decide to give rice. You know how they sometimes they give. My friend is getting married next month, and that's one of the things she said they're gonna do. Give rice, thank you packs as people are leaving the church, so that it reduces the amount of people that are coming through. But you know that there are people that will still take the packs and still come for the reception. That's a different conversation entirely.
Sure.
Now, when now my dad is now popular in the denomination that he's in, and he has a lot of friends. Now, when those friends come, they will come with their wives, won't they? Some of them will come with their wives and their children. They've been looking for a vacation holiday. They found it. And that's just my father's side. Like I was saying to you, this is just my own personal thing. For some people, they'll get away with it. For me, they may not. For me, I might not get away with it. And this is not about being prideful. This is a conversation I've had with my mom where I'm telling my mom like 2 years. I'm like, Mom. I'm telling my mom. I'm like, Mom. If I don't know when the wedding is gonna happen, but we need to tone it down because even from now, I'm already feeling it that if I don't start talking, the entire world will come for my wedding.
So
Now,
how do we now deal with this as ladies, where there's this pressure, and part of the pressure apart from social media, what people will say, family, about go and have this wedding, go and get married, is that when all these pressures come together, how do we fix it? How do we work on ourselves to know that I am 23, part of my purpose is getting married, but it's not my only purpose as a woman?
I think one of the first things you need to do is you need to have a sit down with your spouse. Because one of the great things about marriage is that it's not about your family alone. You need to sit down with your spouse. You need to know what he's thinking. You need to know what his family is thinking. Because your family might be like, I want a very big wedding. And his family is
No,
like, nope.
it's not about the big wedding. If you heard my question, I said, as ladies, there's so much pressure on ladies 90% of time that makes us feel that we have to have this wedding. by 23 I have to be married, by 24 I have to have had 2 kids, by this, already patterning our life on a particular script by all these factors we are talking about: people, social media, family, friends, everything. So how do we as ladies try to talk to ourselves and know that at 23, at 25, at 28 you can be single, you can still fulfill purpose and still find your spouse without putting yourself under the pressure of people and all this to have a wedding and not having a fulfilled marriage?
Okay. The first thing is you need to calm down and breathe. That's the first thing. I'll take what Ibk said is relax, life is short. That's the first thing, honestly, because I feel like we get so overwhelmed with all these thoughts on the day, the time, the age, the accomplishments, what you would have achieved or not achieved. You need to breathe. You need to calm down. The second thing you need to do is you need to yield to the Holy Spirit. This is not even like jokes. You need to yield to the Holy Spirit because sometimes we just put ourselves under pressure for no reason. You know that there's no relationship in sight. I might not know, but you know that you're not ready to be married. You know that you're still walking through your relationship with God, or maybe there's something going on in your life currently at the moment. You know. That's the first thing I want to say, that women know when they are not ready. They know when
And
they're not
also
ready.
men.
Whether they want to admit it or not is up to them, but they know when they're not ready. And at that point in time, that's when it's almost like, that I want to be married thing really comes like strong, like it comes like really, really strong. And what I want to say is be patient. And oh my God, it sounds ridiculous when people tell me that. In fact, when people tell me to be patient, there's something that goes through my heart. Like, I'm just looking at you like, of course you can say that. You're married, like 2 kids down, 3 kids down, 5 kids down. Of course you can say that. But I think the first thing is yielding to the Holy Spirit, because one, the Holy Spirit will give you peace. I'm telling you, because you can be so overwhelmed with these things. Number 2 is don't put yourself in unnecessary situations. Number
So
1.
the funny thing is someone just made a comment on Instagram and the person said, if you're not sure of the plan for your life, then you don't need to, if you are sure of the plan for your life, then you don't need to bow to pressure. So that means if you know that what you're doing, okay, I finished my master's, I'm getting a job. If you know that you're still following each plan and purpose that God has created you for, I don't think, even though it will come in, to be sincere, there are some side pressures that when you
of course they will come in.
You yourself know that I am still working towards purpose. I'm working towards what I'm saying. Yeah,
and I think you also need to understand that if God has designed marriage for you, it's gonna come. Last year, 2 of my closest friends, my childhood friends, they got married. In fact, one of them, my dad joined them, and I was beginning to think, oh my God, I hope my dad is not getting pressure, from this. And when I looked at the whole scenario, I was thinking that I was gonna be like overwhelmed. I thought like, oh my God, Victoria is married, Esther is married, oh my God, they're all married. But actually, funny enough, I was very happy for them, but I knew that it wasn't my time. I knew that 2017, if I got married, it would have been a disaster. I knew that. So I was grateful. And I think that's one thing that you need to do is when you find that your friends are getting married left, right, and center, be happy for them. Buy them gifts. Tell them, pray for me. Let me to receive it. But never, ever allow that to control you and to control your mind so much that you now forget the purpose to which God has actually called you for. It's really, really important. It really,
bless
really
you. And someone just made a comment. She said, we need to hear from God. The number of years one will spend married is more than the number of years you spend as a single lady. There is always time for everything. God speaks, no competition. God bless you, Atinoke. God bless you. God bless you.
And I think people need to be busy. You see, people need to be busy. I feel like a lot of women are not busy. I'm not gonna say too much on it, but I've realized that a lot of women, it seems like they're depending on the guy. They're depending on the guy to do this, they're depending on the guy to do that, they're depending on the guy to even for their happiness. And one of the things I've realized, even personally for my life, is that my happiness is not dependent on anybody, especially a man. And so, therefore, it is important, it is so imperative that God is number one. Because when He's number one, when a man fails you, when a man fails you, God will never fail you. Because the truth about it is, there will be times where, say, forget it, you'll get married, you'll have all the sex in the world, you have all the babies in the world, and you will still need Jesus, because there will be days where your husband will drive you crazy, where your wife, where your children will drive you crazy, and you need the Lord to hold you. You're like, God, I need patience now. I don't want to say the wrong things now. And the truth about it is, we feel so entitled to this marriage thing. We feel like we need to be married. There are people that have been burned in this world right now in 2018 that will never be married, because that's what God has called them to do, to focus on a particular purpose, which if marriage comes in might not enable them to do it. Those people, they know themselves. Whether they decide to accept it or not is completely their business. This idea of, oh, everybody will get married, none will like their mate. That's true. For those that God has said it is in your purpose and in your destiny. The people that have gotten married 2 years down the line, unfortunately, their spouse died. So if marriage is the end goal for you, in fact, that's why marriage cannot be the end goal for you. Because even in marriage, you need God to lead you. So the best thing you can do is relax in God. Focus on God. And when you are filled with so much emotions, tell God. And another thing that can help you is, if you need to delete Bella Ninja, if you need to delete the Wedding Digest, if you need to completely scrap all wedding videos, if you need to go to your history on your laptop and delete all the videos you've been watching since 2013, then do that. If it means it's true. If it means that you're going to tell your friends, please, people, for a period of time, I don't want to hear about weddings. I don't want to hear about marriage. I don't want to hear about this. Do it. A lot of marriage talks, wedding talks are going on now in the world. That's awesome-tastic. That's great. But the question is, who are you listening to? And how are they edifying you? And are they really edifying you for your season? For example, one of the people that I listen to, Daphne Matayara, shout out. She's one of those people that, when I first started listening to her, I was like, of course you have a boo, of course you can say that. But when I started thinking about the things she was saying, I realized that before she was in a relationship, she had a period of singleness. And what she's saying applies to me. Now, not everything somebody says would apply to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is rush. What I'm saying is don't rush. Take your time. And another thing is, people don't
Sorry,
do this thing
before you say that last one, I'll just read the last comment. We'll wrap up the show on the radio, but for everyone listening to me via Amen Radio, you can join them live on the 76 hours of praise right now at Redemption Camp, going on right now. You can join them live in less than 1 minute. I'll just quickly read the comments, then we'll wrap up the show on the radio. So a friend says, very correct, a blessing you don't appreciate, you cannot attract. That's from Instagram. Another person said, you don't need to take your steps because people are pushing you to move. What matters most is for you yourself, you to know the decision of where you are going is better than regrets. And that is really, really true. It's better to say, I am not interested. I am not going to bow to pressure. I'm not going to allow anybody to take advantage of me because I am 25, I am 26, or I am 27. It's better. It is just better for you to say, you know what? I am making my stance known as a person, even as guys. And one thing you said, I read one lady's blog, I can't remember her name. She said, why I made a decision to cut off anything wedding. And I'm just trying to like keep up to what you said, in a sense of, I remember that when I first got to Canada, because I had access to like a lot of, let me tell you the truth, when you first come abroad, you first want to explore Wi-Fi. So I had access to too much Wi-Fi, and I was exploring it. Do you understand? I explored it well enough. But you know the truth about it? The truth about it is, this weddings I was watching, I didn't know I was putting pressure on my own friend. Do you understand? I was just seeing different things. I'm like, see this, oh, I will send it. See that, oh, I will send it. Oh, see this. And the funny thing was, it just felt there's this, it's not true. It's not like, how will I call it? It was not me saying it literally, but it was, how will I call it? It was me seeing that pressure. So it's like me always sending you this and that. But from my own end, I didn't see any big deal because I was looking at that it's just wedding, it's just videos. But there are times when even those around us, we can put pressure around them when we talk too much about this particular subject. When it comes to what we're talking about, parents, when your parent keeps hammering, oh, you won't do this. What if you are married? What if you are this? What if you are that? It's just subtle. It just streams into your head every time. Sometimes you start comparing yourself to the person that has been married for years where it's not even working.
You know, you said something too powerful just now. You said parents, but then you also said that you were putting pressure on your friend, which means that we have this notion that it's only parents that put pressure. We all have this notion that only social media put pressure, but even friends put pressure, even church members put pressure, even workers put pressure. Do you understand what I'm saying? The other extra, even ourselves, we put pressure on ourselves. And that's why you must just calm down before you have high blood pressure. There's no point. And the truth is, there was something wonderful that I think it was Heather Lindsay that said it. She was like, if God has destined that you will be married at exactly the 5th of May, 2018, there's nothing you're going to do that will make it go faster. Do you get? Okay, let's even forward it. If God says 2020 is when you're going to get married, there's nothing you're going to do that's going to make that date come faster. I don't know if it was Heather Lindsay or if it was one of my mentors in church, but somebody around me said it, and I was just like, wow, that's true, you know? Like, you can pray, Lord, Holy Ghost, send me the boo, send me the babe, Lord, take over, Lord, my babe, from the left, from the right, from the north, from the south. If the year has been said 2020 is the year, there's nothing you can do. And that's why we must ask ourselves, what is our purpose? Because there's something I believe now. Your purpose will be more important to you than your marriage. It's not that your marriage doesn't, it's not because I remember I said this to my mom, and my mom said to me, she's like, but there is purpose in marriage. I said, I agree, Mom, but that's a different sector of your life. Before marriage comes, Mom, there is purpose as a single. And she was like, she agrees on everything. But what I'm saying is, what I've realized is, what I've realized is when you are single, when you're single and you have your purpose, I'm telling you, you will be too busy fulfilling that purpose that somebody will have to tap you. God will have to nudge you that, okay, slow down. It is time. Like, you have to be that deep. I was listening to a powerful woman, evangelist, Toyin. Is it Toyin? Yeah. That lady that we were listening to like two weeks ago. Remember that I added you on her page. Toyin Fatuse. Yeah. She said something powerful. She said that people used to tell her, because she got married when she was quite older in age, people used to tell her that she should slow down on the drama ministry. They were like, she's going too fast. Her husband, like, if you're too fast, you know, if you're achieving all these things too quickly, your husband will run away from you. If you're a high achiever, your husband will run away from you. Two things. Number one, do we know that when a man too is too much of a high achiever, do you know some women don't want to marry him because they feel he's too much for them? That's one side. The second thing as well is your husband, and I believe it, your husband will meet you at the level where you're at. And that is why you cannot be on the same level you were at 2016. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to buy a car that is huge, or I'm not going to achieve all this, I'll get a car, I have a driver's license, but I'll not put it up on social media because I don't want anybody to be afraid. I don't want him to be scared. I don't want him to think, oh my God, she's a millionaire, and she has a lot of money. And that's how we miss it. And then because you're like, you don't want somebody to meet you on your level, automatically you begin to look down. Which means what? You're looking at someone that is that you are above.
Someone said this on Instagram. He said, also put ourselves under pressure. And that's one thing you said. And one thing I always support. You put yourself under pressure. I used to be this kind of person that when I was in Nigeria, I used to have this 1 year, 6 months, 2 months. I must achieve this. I must achieve that. I must this. I must that. I must this. But you know that you yourself, you're just putting yourself under unnecessary pressure. Because there's some things that God will just say, okay, let me keep watching you doing all your plan. And then I had to sit down and I had to apologize to God and say, God, I'm sorry for being an overcalculator. Because I have no idea what's even in your own plan for my life. I am busy just sitting down trying to calculate. I had to, and when
you're going ahead of God, helping him. He that knows the beginning from the end, you are trying to assume his position.
JJ Omojua said one thing. He said, if you marry somebody that is lower or feels threatened by your success, is not what that man or woman that you should be with. If
that's how you know you're with the wrong person.
Let's take Okada. Let's take motorcycle. Let's ride bicycle. Just because you don't want to see. When God, and I think we don't always understand as ladies that we're more powerful as the woman. You're more powerful. Yeah. You are the one that has that force than even the man. So at the point where you are under a lot of, and pressure has not even come because number one, be single and old. Be the kind of man or woman that irrespective of who you're with, you can stand through life and pressures and come out and say, God was
I made it.
But the moment your pressure pump is tied to someone else that you have to always lean on every time, the moment that person fails you, then you start putting yourself under pressure. And you know the thing, that's where temper tantrum comes out. You start spreading the pressure all around you. So people around, so even those that are just small girls, just finished university, you better be fast. You know that we're like this too. We're doing fine girls too with some guys. That's how we didn't marry. We're now 35. You don't have to. No.
And then another thing I need to say that is really important. Yeah. Sorry, another thing I want to say is, may God allow us not to smell what we cannot eat. See, everybody's experience is different. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with someone, in fact, somebody very close to me, and the person was saying something along the lines of, saying something like, with guys, you can't be like this, you can't be like that, you need to be a certain way, you cannot expect too much, you can't get everything you want. That is their own. That is their problem. Me, I told God, I said, God, if it is the fairy tale Disney that I get in real life, if that's what I want, then that's what I desire. If I want someone that doesn't have everything, then that's my desire. I'm sorry that I'm moving a bit out of it, but what I just wanted to point is everybody's experience is different. Pray your own prayer on who you want. I know people give ideas on what they think you want, but you need to know yourself. I think yesterday was a very, very big point in my life where I had to say to myself that, but this is the way I am, and this is what I like. Okay, you don't like it, that's okay. But me, I like this thing. For example, you like Maltesers, I like sneakers. It's sneakers I like, but you're coming to tell me that Maltesers is like this, Maltesers is like that. And I know that me is peanuts inside inside sneakers that I like. But because you have said it, I will not be looking at my sneakers and be like, my sneakers is not nice. My sneakers is not good enough. Because of your own thought. Everybody, I beg you in the name of God, it is still down to this pressure thing. However you want your wedding to be the dictator of it. Don't let somebody else dictate it. You can ask for advice. You can ask for help. People can advise you. But everything is down to me, my personality, my temperament, what I like. Please, let us not go and find ourselves in a situation whereby
it's not even only exploring Wi-Fi. Someone will be creating Wi-Fi. Some people are carrying yokes on their necks because of it.
I think he's
Is it for
referring
my
back to your statement about Wi-Fi, but I think he doesn't mean Wi-Fi. I think he means something else like an
I don't know.
underlining
Even if
statement
you
under
self
that.
will be the chief agent for pressuring others, you may not know. Yes,
Kind of,
some ladies need level, they're wasting away. I really don't understand.
I also want to
But
talk about pressure in regards to souvenirs. Is it okay if I talk about that?
I wanted to say something before you even talk about souvenirs. I want to say something in line of this thing.
Is it what I
Now,
was saying earlier?
I wrote something on my Insta story this morning,
Yeah.
and I said, you're quick to compare your marriage with someone else's.
Mm,
You're quick, and you don't know that marriage took a lot of fights, arguments, love, intentionality before you are seeing their finished product. But you are using your 6 months raw material to compare with 30 years or 12 years or 7 years of finished or cooked meal. Out of all the costs of meal or whatever it is. Do you understand what I'm saying? You compare what you have. You compare what you are doing with someone else's own. But let's remember that person, some have been through jail, some had sold ice water, some had washed people's body, some have worked in mocks. Just to do what? Just to make sure that marriage worked.
Some have cried, fasted, and prayed.
But you just have just a slight disagreement with your husband for a couple of minutes, and you're comparing that just one moment to a lot. So just back to what Mr. Moses said, a lot of times we put that pressure on ourselves that we don't actually need. Sometimes it's not even what God wants for you. And intentionally, okay, never live your life based on anybody's stand. Your life is your life and not anybody's life. Wait for your time, because God has never and will never forget anybody. God bless you, sir.
That's it.
So you were going to wedding souvenirs.
Yeah, I was gonna go to wedding souvenirs, but I just remember something when you were talking, and now it's gone off my head. But I'll remember if it's God's will. Please, God, help me remember.
Okay.
It is not a must to have souvenirs for your wedding. I said it. Damaris Akanji said it is not a must to have souvenirs for your wedding. Babe, the pressure of souvenirs is unreal. I must get a tray. I must get a tray, a grater, and I don't know, a pencil, a knife. People be having, I know that usually most times family members do it, but do you know that you can just have the cake cut and put in a nice tiny box with a thank you for coming? It doesn't have to be deep, because that's where the pressure now comes on the finances. You have only been able to cater for the wedding, the reception, and the traditional, and even maybe the cut even. In fact, even cut now is getting deep. I don't want to go into that one because that's a different story altogether. Where people sorry about that. And you get to that point where you have to be like, you need to take a chill pill. It is not a must to have a souvenir. If your souvenir is thank you for coming, let your souvenir be thank you for coming. Do you get what I mean? But
there's this entitlement, like we said last week.
This entitlement. I gave you a gift, so you should give me a souvenir.
No, I buy your clothes. You have to give me a souvenir. So I really don't blame people, because if I can buy your clothes for 50,000 naira, and in real sense of the clothes no more than 10,500 in the market, I need a souvenir.
I think that's for people that are fussy about stuff like that. If you want everybody to have your Ashorabi, then make it as reasonably priced as possible. Because I think we were talking about how people, I think it was you that was saying that people put extra prices on it. So if it's not standard, if it's not like a standard, and everybody knows what their standard, stuff is. But if yours is not a standard amount, then forget it. Because people will feel entitled. However, I also want people to know that it is not a must. If the color is green, go and get a green dress. If you already have a green dress there, wear the green dress. You don't have to buy it. People feel so much pressure to buy, and I can't blame them, because what Ashwebi does is it separates people. So it's almost like we're now in a clique, we're in a clan. It's either we're in a friendship clique, or we're in a family clique, or we're in a student clique, or we're all classmates. So there's like a clique that it gives. And then there was even a time where I heard that there were 4 types of Ashwebi. One was 10K, 20K, 30K, 50K, different Ks. And so if you bought a 10K, you felt, oh my God, I don't have a lot of money, because the 50K people are looking better than you, or the 50K people don't want to associate with the 10K people because you're not my, like, do you get what I mean? So it brings division, unnecessary division. If I was
but females can't do away with souvenirs if a man even wants to do away with. That's true though. Some men want to leave a party without the souvenir. They will be like, after we bought all these fine clothes, oh yeah, we must we must actually have it.
And that's my question now is, what if you buy all of that and the person doesn't have a souvenir? Are you gonna kill them? Are you gonna say it was a bad wedding because there was no souvenir? What if the food was really great? They gave you like 5-course meal, not the usual 3-course meal. Go as many rounds as you like, buffet, whatever it is. Does that mean that it wasn't a good wedding? What even makes a good wedding? Another thing as well that I feel will help people to reduce wedding pressure is when you title your wedding, when you're giving out your invitation cards or telling people that I'm getting married, instead of saying I'm getting married, say, guys, I'm having a church blessing for my marriage. When you say church blessing, I'm telling you, there's a difference. There is a difference when you put wedding on your card versus church wedding versus solemnization. Oh, Jesus Lord.
Solemnization.
Yeah, of ceremony or of marriage. Because especially with church blessing, people know that it's serious. Okay, my question.
But do you know that under
they
the
want
law,
to have a church blessing, they don't want to have a reception.
But do you know that under the law, all these things you said, they're just one?
How do you mean? I know, but no, it's the same thing. But what I'm saying is, I noticed that people take it differently based on the choice of words.
Yeah.
People take it differently. So for me, if you want people to take what you're doing seriously, if you don't want them to see it as another event, and when I say seriously, I don't mean having it on top of your wedding. What I mean is when you want people to know what the real reason why do you know that I'm one of those people that I would never go for a wedding go for a reception without going for a wedding. In fact, one of my friends and I had a fight. It wasn't like a major fight, but she was upset with me. Why? Because she wanted to come for a reception. I was looking at her, I was like, girl, we're going for the church wedding and the reception, even if it means we're standing outside. She's like, no, the reception. I said, you're not coming with me. She was vexed. I was like, see, jollof rice, fried rice, we can make that in our house. We can make for 10 people. If it's that deep, just call your friends. Let's sit down and eat. But if you're not coming for the church blessing, as far as I'm concerned, you didn't come for a wedding. You came to joke. But then people be like, oh, Damaris, you're taking it deep, you're taking it serious. But then, to be honest, it is actually a very serious thing. Do you know what it means to say, me, Damaris, I give myself to you from this day forward, forgetting others, forsaking all others. It is you every day, all day.
That's the content of the wedding. For me, it's
I know, but that's the vow.
For me, it's a choice. I've traveled hours before in the hope to meet a church wedding, and all those things are I'm sorry, they're just like a facade to me.
For me, if it's in a facade, then if you take out the vows, then what will actually be the
church wedding is a facade. What's important is the blessing, right?
Yes.
So to the back of your house and still have your pastor give you your blessings. So it's not even about all that detail.
That's what I'm saying. What if you decide you don't even want to have it in a church? Do you get what I mean?
still have your church blessings. The church blessing is the pastor representing the church, so it doesn't really matter.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying is, I'm still referring back to this whole, oh, we must have an after party, we must have a reception. What if the person decides that, okay, I don't want to have a reception, I want to have a concert?
Okay.
Are you not gonna show up? Do you get? I mean, I'm just saying that that's how much people. That's how much people carry this whole thing. But I think with wedding pressure is inevitable. But you must consciously decide that I will not allow myself to be pressured. Another thing as well is I genuinely believe that as of right now in 2018, if you really want to reduce your wedding pressure, you need to have a wedding planner, and you cannot afford to have a wedding planner that is slack. You need to have an on-point wedding planner that can put everybody in their place, people and wedding vendors alike, making sure that things go well. Because if you don't have that, and let's say if you don't have that, and you're putting your aunties in charge, or auntie, please be in charge of the rice, or auntie, please, uncle, please be, you won't see, people will not eat. People will not eat on the day. I feel like that really helps a lot.
But even if you don't, because some people can't afford a wedding planner. So even if you can't afford a wedding planner, don't put yourself under the pressure of still doing that. Get a trusted friend that can also fix everything. Yes. To wrap
Did you call me?
To wrap up the show, I want to be very I want to be very explicit about knowing your stance about who should be more prepared. Because there's this mentality that, well, even though it's the wedding, it's the guy's responsibility. Well, no, it's the family of the bride that does this, does that. Now, as important, and as we have already said, that people should calm down, wait on God, fulfill purpose, be single and all, be everything and all these things. One important thing that I want to be very sure that I think we'll be on the same page is being prepared for the marriage itself.
Yeah. Everybody has to be prepared. Do you know that beyond the bride and the groom, even the parents need to be prepared? Because you're having a new son or daughter-in-law coming into your house. Even the extended family members need to be prepared. Even your friends need to be prepared, because it means that they will now have an additional person.
You talked about family members. So at what point should family members be introduced when you are preparing for, or when you're talking about wedding in your relationship?
Okay, for me, my parents, and when I say my parents, I mean my immediate family, and I stand by this. I don't care what my family thinks, but I stand by this, that my parents and my siblings alone are the first to know at the introductory stage. That's my personal belief. Because if anything goes wrong, you know that it can die down within your family. Especially when because usually introduction is a bit far off from weddings. And even if it's 2 months, even if it's 4 months, it is still far off. It's never, we're doing introduction today, doing traditional tomorrow, doing wedding next tomorrow.
Not introduction. I mean in your relationship. So boy meets girl, they're talking together, and you know, like I said, when there's a wedding pressure, when there's this whatever about having a wedding, and at what point do you start?
Okay, because that's a good question.
What I kind of say is be defined.
Okay.
When you meet somebody, if I meet you now, from the start, you said, I've never had a girlfriend that we're super tight. So we defined whatever relationship between you and I. So for me, when you're in a relationship with someone, be defined. Okay, we are going into this for the long term, right?
Yeah.
So we already know the guy came to meet you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So knowing that, at what point do you start kicking off talking about, okay, let's talk about weddings. Let's talk about meeting parents, right?
Yeah. Okay. So
because there's pressure already at home when they start saying that to one person. Yeah.
There's 2 theories to this. I heard, and I stand to be corrected, but I heard that before the guy even engages you, like, he needs to come and seek permission from your parents. And there's also another theory that he can engage you and then you go and meet your parents. So there are 2 different theories. And so based on that, what I would say is the minute you guys are like, I want to get married, I want to get married. I genuinely believe that a guy can ask you to get married and maybe not have a ring at that moment. For me, if a guy asked me to marry him, I most likely will say yes, but I'll be like, we need to talk to my parents. So it's at that point that my parents get involved. If you have not talked about marriage, if you're not like, okay, I want to meet your parents, then my parents are not getting to know you at all until that has been made 100%, even possibly that you've told your family, and it's just a matter of meeting my family. But if it's just that, oh, we're still seeing how it goes, or is a year, or oh, we're talking about it, but we've not really decided, then it's not time to meet your parents for nothing. It's not time to meet your parents. You're definitely not meeting my parents for nothing. Nothing.
So for those that just join us, we're having Life Matters and Adedire, and yes, we had a long one this time for 30 minutes extra. But today we're talking about weddings and the pressure in it. We're still gonna, well, both of us are gonna switch to Instagram to just discuss all these things. But like today, I think it's based on what you grew up with determining when parents should be involved. So Mr. Moses is saying that whatever it is, but still, number one, as ladies, as guys, as a single person, be single and all, the pressures of life will generally be able to stand, because when you're married, it's double. Maturity is key when it comes to love, in forgiveness, in giving, in letting go. It's very important. Now, when you're going through wedding pressures, make sure that you are not overwhelmed yourself. Sometimes it overwhelms us, in all sincerity. Sometimes you have to
give yourself time. Just because your husband, guys, about that. So sorry, my sister called. Just because your husband or your boyfriend proposed to you now doesn't mean you need to get married in the next 4 months. I personally am one of those people that I believe that I must contribute to my wedding. So we must have time to save and have time to prepare. But what you find is people get engaged and then they're like, oh, it has to be within the next 6 months. It has to be within the next 3 months. It doesn't have to be. You can give yourself time. However, there must be time expiry dates. So don't do lots of rings and then be engaged for 2 years.
Lot of the joke. Yes, and that's very true. So you guys should have expected dates, date of someone EOD, expected official date or something. Yeah, someone asked me that question one day and said, when is your EOD? And I'm like, what's EOD? It's like expected official date, where you guys are saying by 2020 December 25th we're getting married. So whatever happens in between, there's no pressure, there's no nothing. We can love, we can fight, we can this. We know that there's an EOD, right? I think that's a good word. EOD.
I pray for you, sister. You're getting it. You're getting it. 25th.
Thank you very
much. Before 25th, you're getting married. Amen. Somebody say amen with me.
Thank you very much, Damaris, for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We had an amazing time today. So yeah, you can tune in tonight. Yes, tonight we're talking about a different a topic. Maybe a topic around this line or whichever one. But don't forget, you share the video. And also my YouTube channel is at Aanu Adedire, so you will get the entire clips of the discussion in itself. And thanks to everyone that tuned in via Facebook and Instagram. God bless you. Damaris, God bless you. Thank you very much for being an amazing guest. God bless you. And I pray today that as we enter into the month of March tomorrow, that we're marching to success, we are marching to joy, we are marching to favor, we are marching into rest. Like, we're marching into our place of rest. No one, no principality, no power will have a hold over us, because we bear the mark of the Lord Jesus Christ. So enjoy the month of March, march victoriously, and have an amazing day. Thank you very much, Damaris. Have a lovely day. God bless you.
Thank you. Bye.